John saw the message notification flash on his wife's laptop. He froze, his heart skipping a beat as he tried to process what he was seeing. Sarah was at work. Her laptop was supposed to be off limits, a boundary they had both agreed upon. But curiosity, like a mischievous imp, whispered in his ear, urging him to take a closer look. He glanced at the screen, his eyes narrowing as he tried to make sense of the message. It was a message from a username he didn't recognize, a stranger in their digital world. "Missing you already," it read. His stomach clenched, a wave of nausea washing over him. The words hung in the air, heavy with implication. Something felt wrong. John scrolled up, his fingers trembling. The messages were flirtatious, intimate, filled with a familiarity that made his skin crawl. His heart pounded in his chest. He felt dizzy, the room spinning around him. These weren't just friendly chats. They were something much more, something that shattered his trust. This was an emotional affair unfolding before his eyes. His Sarah, the woman he thought he knew so well. His wife of 5 years, the woman he had vowed to spend his life with. The woman he shared his life, his bed, his secrets with. Every memory they had built together now felt tainted. How could this be happening? John's mind raced. He felt betrayed. He loved Sarah deeply, more than words could express. He thought they were happy, that their love was unbreakable. The world he knew, the world built on trust and love, crumbled around him. Every promise, every moment, now felt like a lie. His life, as he knew it, was over. The future he had envisioned with Sarah now seemed like a distant dream. He had to confront Sarah. There was no other choice. The truth had to come out, no matter how painful it would be. That evening, Sarah returned home to a changed man. The air was thick with tension, and she could feel it the moment she stepped inside. John sat on the couch, his face pale, the laptop like a loaded gun on the coffee table. His eyes were red, and it was clear he had been crying. Sarah sensed his anger. She knew what was coming. Her heart pounded in her chest as she braced herself for the inevitable confrontation. The words tumbled out of John's mouth, each one laced with pain and accusation. He couldn't hold back the torrent of emotions any longer. Sarah listened, her face a mask of shame. She felt the weight of his words, each one like a dagger to her heart. She didn't deny it. She admitted to everything. The online relationship had started innocently, she said, but it had spiraled out of control. The online relationship had started innocently, she said. It was just a way to pass the time, a harmless distraction. It filled a void she hadn't realized existed. She felt lonely, disconnected, and the online conversations made her feel alive again. John felt sick. He paced the room, his mind racing with thoughts of betrayal and heartbreak. His voice shook with anger and hurt. He couldn't understand how she could do this to him, to their relationship. How could she betray him like this? The question echoed in his mind over and over again. The words they had exchanged, the promises they had made, felt like lies. Everything they had built together seemed to crumble in an instant. He felt like a fool. He had trusted her completely, and now that trust was shattered. Sarah tried to explain. She never meant to hurt him. She had been lost, searching for something she couldn't even define. It didn't mean anything, she insisted. But her words sounded empty, even to her own ears. But her words were hollow. The damage was done. She could see the pain in his eyes, and it broke her heart. The trust, the foundation of their relationship, lay shattered. They sat in silence, the weight of their broken dreams hanging heavy in the air. The days that followed were a blur of pain and anger. John couldn't eat. He couldn't sleep. All he could see were the messages, the betrayal flashing before his eyes. He oscillated between fury and despair. He couldn't bear to look at Sarah. Every shared joke, every intimate moment now felt tainted with deceit. The woman he loved had become a stranger. He felt lost in his own home, adrift in the wreckage of his marriage. John oscillated between wanting to scream at Sarah and wanting to crawl into a hole and disappear. The pain was unbearable. He didn't know how to fix this. He didn't know if he even wanted to. John knew he couldn't keep this bottled up. He reached out to his best friend, Mark. He poured his heart out, the pain and betrayal spilling over. Mark listened patiently. He offered support and a listening ear. He didn't judge. John's family rallied around him. They were angry at Sarah, yes, but their primary concern was for John. They offered words of comfort and encouragement. They reminded him that he wasn't alone. Talking about it helped a little. It didn't erase the pain, but it shared the burden. John realized he couldn't go through this alone. He needed his support system now more than ever. John and Sarah decided to try couples therapy. It was a difficult decision, fraught with uncertainty. The first few sessions were raw, filled with anger and accusations. But slowly, they started to unpack the reasons behind Sarah's betrayal. The therapist helped them to communicate more effectively. They learned to articulate their feelings, their needs, their fears. John learned about Sarah's insecurities, the void she tried to fill. Therapy wasn't a magic cure. It was painful, often frustrating, but it provided them with a safe space to confront their issues head-on. It was the first step towards rebuilding their shattered foundation. John knew he needed to focus on himself. He started running again. Every stride, every bead of sweat chipped away at the pain. The physical exertion provided a temporary escape from the turmoil in his mind. He started journaling. He poured his raw emotions onto the pages. Anger, hurt, confusion, even fleeting moments of hope. Writing became his therapy, a way to process the maelstrom of feelings. He reconnected with old friends. He started going to the movies, to concerts. He rediscovered things he used to enjoy. Slowly, tentatively, he started to feel like himself again. Section 7. Rebuilding trust. Trust, once broken, is a fragile thing. Rebuilding it was a slow, arduous process. It required patience, honesty, and a willingness to forgive. Sarah was committed to earning back John's trust. She was completely transparent, sharing her phone, her emails, her life. John, in turn, fought against the urge to check up on her. He knew that constant suspicion would only poison their relationship further. He had to make a conscious effort to believe her, to trust her again. It was a daily struggle. There were setbacks, moments of doubt, but they persevered. They clung to the hope that they could salvage their love from the wreckage. Section 8. A Glimmer of Hope. Slowly, tentatively, laughter returned to their home. They started having date nights again, just like old times. They rediscovered the joy in each other's company. They remembered why they fell in love in the first place. The pain wasn't gone. There were still scars, reminders of the betrayal, but they were learning to live with them. They were learning to forgive. The future was still uncertain, but for the first time in months, they felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they could make it through this. Section 9. Forgiveness. Forgiveness, John realized, wasn't just about Sarah. It was about him too. Holding on to anger, to the pain, was only hurting him. He made a conscious decision to let go of the resentment. It wasn't easy. It was a daily practice. He forgave Sarah not for her sake, but for his own. He deserved peace. He deserved to move forward. Forgiveness wasn't forgetting. It was remembering without the sting. It was a long road. There were days when the anger threatened to consume him again, but he clung to the hope of a future with Sarah, a future built on forgiveness and understanding. Section 10. Moving forward. John and Sarah's story wasn't a fairy tale. It was real, messy, and complicated. They faced challenges that tested their patience and love. But it was their story, uniquely theirs, filled with ups and downs. They had stared into the abyss of betrayal and emerged, battered but not broken. Their resilience was remarkable. Their journey taught them the true meaning of love, the importance of communication, and the necessity of understanding. They discovered the transformative power of forgiveness, which healed their wounds. They learned that love isn't about perfection, but about embracing each other's flaws. It's about choosing each other every single day, flaws and all, and growing together. Their story, shared anonymously on Reddit, resonated with millions. It became a beacon of hope for many. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can bloom. Their story inspired others to believe in second chances. It was a testament to the resilience of the human heart, showing that love can mend what is broken, and the enduring power of love and forgiveness, which can lead to a brighter future together.